Welcome to the In Love with PMDD podcast. I am your host, Rose, your PMDD Relationship Expert. I have personally been suffering with PMDD for over 15 years and spent so much time desperately trying to navigate my intimate relationships, going from breakup to breakup, thinking that everyone else was the problem. I am now married to an amazing PMDD partner thanks to the PMDD-specific relationship tools that I have developed over the years, and now I am here to share them with you. Because I know that there is not much research available to PMDD partners, I am now dedicating my doctorate practice specifically for PMDD relationships. I am a traumatology doctoral candidate, and each week I will be providing PMDD partners with my signature PMDD trauma transformational tools on how to effectively navigate an intimate relationship while having PMDD, so that you can avoid the patterns of breaking up with your partner every single month, and you can finally have the supportive relationship that we all desire and deserve. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. Now let's get into your weekly dose of PMDD relationship tools. We got this. Today, I want to talk to you about how to stop feeling like a failure in your PMDD relationship. So I work with so many of my private clients about this issue specifically. So I wanted to share one of the tools that I use with them, and I'm going to take you through a meditation a little bit later on during this podcast. But for right now, I just want to let you know that the reason why a lot of times you're feeling like a failure in your PMDD relationship is because you feel like you just can't get it right. You're putting a lot of pressure on yourself to know the right things to say, to know the right things to do during PMDD. And I want you to know that no one specifically knows what to do during PMDD in their relationship unless they're given specific tools. This is why I've developed my 2-month private coaching program. We work one-on-one and we develop specific tools for your relationship, because it's not something that you should automatically know. And I think that takes a lot of the pressure off if you think to yourself, okay, number one, I'm not the only one. And number two, there's no blueprint. You're not doing it wrong. You just don't have the tools. And so don't beat yourself up about when you have arguments and you're trying really, really hard not to, and then you have an argument and you feel like a failure. When your partner gets hurt, when you say things that you didn't really mean, when you do things that you didn't really do, and you see the hurt in their eyes, you see their demeanor, you see them shut you out because they're so hurt, and you begin to feel like this big failure because you're thinking, well, I didn't mean to react like that, or I didn't mean to say those things. And you feel like you just keep getting it wrong. And there's month after month of you doing that. And you feel this is when partners, PMDD partners, normally give up on their relationship because they feel like, I don't want to continue to keep hurting my partner. I don't continue to want to cause them pain. I don't want to be in pain. So I might as well just leave the relationship altogether. And I want you to know that that doesn't have to be your option. And that's why I'm here to give you tools that you can use. And I really appreciate all of the messages that I've been getting on my Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram at In Love with PMDD, I'm loving seeing the transformations that you all are having regards to using these PMDD relationship tools. And it's all about taking the notes that I'm giving you every single week and using them in your relationship. So it's not just listening to me. It's about you can start implementing them. Even if you're not a private client of mine, you can implement all of the tools that I've been putting out here that I give you for free. But if you need customized advice, that's why I created my one-on-one program, because you just get the results faster, right? Versus guessing or trying to figure out, will this work for my relationship? Is this the right time to utilize this tool? Is this what my PMDD partner really needs? I go ahead and work with you one-on-one so we can really develop a plan for your PMDD relationship so you can have months and months and months of PMDD without having that stress, without continuing to cause damage to your PMDD relationships. So I'm going to give you 3 ways. This relationship is going to be packed full of what it is that you can use for your PMDD relationship. So take notes. If you're multitasking like I normally do, then just you can listen to it again. But I'm going to give you 3 ways to stop feeling like a failure in your PMDD relationship. And then I'm going to, at the end, I'm going to guide you through a meditation so that you can really get it in your mind what it is you need to do, what it is you need to say, and what mindset you need to have in regards to your PMDD relationship so you don't feel like you're just getting it wrong every single month. And so the first thing we're going to talk about is set clear boundaries of what you need during PMDD and don't negotiate. I know so many times you know what it is that you need during PMDD, whether you're individuals that need silence, you need to alone time, or if you need more attention. So many times we feel like we can't ask that of our partner. We feel like, I know that I need more attention from my partner, but I feel like I just want them to stay in the relationship with me. You know, your self-worth really diminishes when you have PMDD because you feel like you don't have the right to ask your partner for anything because you have this disorder. And I'm here to let you know that is completely wrong. PMDD does not negate the fact that you deserve to have what it is that you need during PMDD and when you're not in PMDD. Just because you have this disorder doesn't mean that you can't ask your partner for what it is that you need. And I know that you have that hesitation because you feel like you've done so many things and you have that guilt. You have that guilt of like, man, I've said things, I've done things that I don't really mean. So how can I make these demands or make these requests to my partner when I'm just grateful that they're still here? But I want to let you know every day, every moment, every second that your partner and you are in an intimate relationship, you have the right. You have the right to request what it is that you need during PMDD. And you don't have to lessen it. So I feel like a lot of times you may say that you need, oh, I only need a little bit of attention, or, oh, I only need a little bit of space, but you really just want a lot of it. And I want you to ask big because I want you to ask in integrity. I want you to ask honestly, deeply what you feel, because that's going to create the intimacy between you and your partner. Because when you feel like you can talk freely with your partner and say what it is that you really want, say what it is that you really need, you're more in line with saying the truth, and you're going to feel closer, and that weight is going to be lifted off your shoulders because you're going to be like, oh, thank goodness I don't have to pretend that I don't need this. Or, oh, thank goodness I don't have to pretend that this bare minimum of what I'm getting is what I really need. Like, ask your partner what you need and know that you have the right. You have to have the confidence going in, even after you all have had an argument where you were wrong and you ask them to forgive you. It's like after you ask them to forgive you, you don't have to earn their forgiveness. You don't have to continue to jump through hoops like you're in a 3-ring circus. Either they're going to forgive you and work on the relationship and stay in it, or they're not. And if you're giving them space to get to that place of forgiveness and to get over and to work through everything that they've been through, it's okay to also mention during that time that you need something, because you're still in a relationship. Think about if the love that you need from your PMDD partner is like food, right? It's like things that you need to live and breathe. You're living in an actual relationship that needs nurturing every single day. So just because you've done something wrong and you're waiting for them to forgive you and to move on, doesn't mean that you have to just let your needs go unnoticed. Doesn't mean that you have to stay silent when you're noticing that they're doing things that are triggering you and you feel like, well, I can't possibly say anything about it because I'm still waiting for them to forgive me. You can say something about it. You have the right to do that, whether you've done something wrong to them or not, because they've done something wrong to you at some point during the relationship and you've forgiven them. And if you haven't, that's something that we can work on. But I don't want you to feel like you have to put your needs, your desires on the back burner just because you've made a mistake within your relationship during PMDD. Because if that's the case, you're going to be waiting for a very long time and your needs are not going anywhere. So every day that you're in that relationship and your needs are not getting met, your needs for intimacy, your need for validation, your need for affirmation, your need for a sense of security, of knowing that they're not just going to up and leave, all of those needs are still going to be there. So if you don't have that confidence that your partner is actually working towards giving you the things that you need, then you're going to feel like you got the short end of the stick. And it's easy to blame PMDD. It's easy to say, well, I guess I just don't deserve to have everything because I have PMDD and I've made these mistakes. And I want to let you know that every PMDD partner has gone through this. You are not alone. You are not like this anomaly that you have actually done things out of character and asked for forgiveness, and the partner has chosen to forgive them or not. And sometimes it is that kind of black and white period where you have to just ask that hard question. And I've had to do this with a lot of my clients when I'm working with them one-on-one and when I'm working with them together. And I've literally addressed the PMDD partner and said, are you really going to forgive your PMDD partner for what they did to you? Because a lot of times the answer may be no, but you're sitting there waiting. You're sitting there waiting and wishing and hoping and saying, well, maybe if I don't bring it up, it's almost like you don't want to hear the answer to it. But that's really what it's getting to, because when you're coasting in that middle ground, there's no security there. You're walking on eggshells. You're feeling like even when you're in your worst PMDD days and you need things from them, you feel like you can't ask them because you feel like, man, I don't even know if they really want to be in this relationship. And I don't want to put these extra demands on them if I'm not giving them a reason to stay. Right? So I want to let you know it is okay. Set clear boundaries, set clear expectations, and this changes all the time. So with my 2-month private PMDD coaching program, we meet weekly, and your requirements, your boundaries, everything may change on a weekly basis, but having those conversations is something that's very much needed, because what you need this week may be something different from what you need next week, and that's okay. It's not like, oh, I needed this last week and they're doing that, and now I need something different. I can't ask them to switch it up. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Right? So I want to let you know that you have certain rights within your relationship, whether they're hanging on by a thread or they're all in. You're still in a relationship. It's kind of like working a job. You can't just decide to do nothing in the job because your boss pissed you off. You still have to work to that same standard if you want to get paid. So as much as it's harder to work when you don't feel like you're getting the affirmations that you need, the appreciation that you need, you still need to show up and do your work if you want to get paid. And you need to think of a relationship like that. If you know that your PMDD partner has come home some days and they've complained about work and they were like, oh, my boss had me do this, my boss had me do that, and they had an attitude, and my coworkers did this and my coworkers did that. At the end of the day, did they still do the work? The answer is yes, because they knew, regardless of how they were being treated at that particular time, if they wanted to get that paycheck, if they still wanted to be employed by that company, then they were going to do what they needed to do. So the same thing in a relationship. Why would a work environment get more effort from your PMDD partner than an actual relationship? You're going to be there far longer than an actual job. So the dedication to you needs to be the same way, if not more, than it would be to the workplace. So if they can put their feelings aside, their emotions aside, all of those things aside, and show up and give their best on the workplace, at the job, then they can do that with you. They can do that with you because they've chosen to be in a relationship. And anytime that you choose to be in a relationship, you're choosing to do the work. And it doesn't always have to be hard work, but at some point it is work. It is a job. It is a commitment. It is a duty. It's a responsibility. It's your PMDD partner's responsibility to give you what it is that you ask for, as long as it's within reason and you guys have discussed it and you're like, I'm able to do that. So if you ask your PMDD partner for something and they've told you no, they're like, no, I can't do that. They need to come back with a counter. Same thing in business. For those of you that don't know, I'm an HR director, right? I work human resources. Okay. So on the corporate side, if we go into negotiations with a client and they say, I need this from you, from your company, if you're going to be representing me, if you're going to be providing me with services, I need this. And it's my job to go in there and say, okay, we cannot give you that, but we can give you this. And we go through the back and forth until we meet in the middle where both parties are satisfied. And that's something that you are able to do in your PMDD relationship as well, because anything that your partner is giving effort to outside the home should be nothing compared to what they're giving inside the home. You are the priority. regardless, whether they're upset with you, whether they're triggered with you, it doesn't matter. You're the priority. And if you're not the priority, that's why we need to work together. We need to get the priorities in order. Because if they're so exhausted, if you're so exhausted that you're giving everything to your work, but you come home and you have nothing to give your PMDD partner, that's the wrong answer. It's not going to last. It's not going to be sustainable. And the expectation that you're just supposed to be there and sit there while they're giving effort in other places, even with your children. So for those of you that have children, if you're giving more effort, energy, all of the things to your children than you are to your PMDD partner, if you're focusing all of your attention on them and you're giving your PMDD partner the short end of the stick, that is going to explain a lot of their behavior. They're not blind. They see that, they feel that, they know that. And when you put the priority on the children rather than your partner, that's not good. It's not going to be beneficial to your relationship. And I know there's a lot of controversy about who comes first, and is it the kids or is it, is it the partner? Here's my take on that. Your child can feel everything that's going on within your home with you and your PMDD partner. I'm going to repeat that. Your child can feel everything that's going on within your home with your PMDD partner. So if you are not creating a peaceful, loving, calm, joyous environment for your child, then you're doing them a disservice. And all that energy that you're giving towards them, to taking them everywhere, doing all these things, feeding them, blah, 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 all of that is nothing in comparison to the environment that you're allowing them to be in. It is your job as their parent to protect their environment, to protect their peace, because they're not in a place where they can do that. They're under your care. So if you're saying, I don't have time for my PMDD partner because I'm spending it on my children, not understanding that they're both interconnected, not understanding that your child can be good if you and your partner are not good. So if you feel like when you get into PMDD, or even when you're not in PMDD and you feel like, well, at least I'm being a good, my relationship is going down the drain, but at least I'm being a good parent. Here's me telling you, unless you're being a good partner, you can't be a good parent. You have to have both if you have the children under your household. If you're a single parent, it's something completely different because you just have to manage your environment with the home that they're in. But if you have a 2-parent household and there's tension in that household, regardless of what you say, regardless of how it is when you sit down at dinner, regardless of how you try to go on play dates and, be amicable together, they can feel it. They're built that way. Children are built that way, to where they can sense things. It's kind of like your pets. If you have pets, if you don't have children and you have pets, at least I know from when I'm in PMDD, when I'm really on my down days, my dog stays with me like Velcro. He will be all on me like, what does it say, white on rice? Because he knows that I need it. He has that sense. He knows that he needs to comfort me. He needs to make me feel safe. That's a part of his nature, right? It's in a pet's nature to nurture. The same thing with your children. They pick up on everything, and their demeanor can actually change based off of what they're feeling, what they're experiencing. That's why they say those first couple of years of being born and living in that environment until they're 18 years old is shaping their personality for the rest of their lives. You would not believe how many PMDD clients I have that are dealing with issues that they have in their adult relationship because of what they felt from their parents not doing the work on their relationship, and they still remember it. They couldn't express it in the moment. They couldn't express it during the time. So you may think, oh, my child doesn't ever bring up us arguing, or, oh, maybe they act like they didn't hear it. They act like they didn't see it. They act like they didn't feel it. It's in them. They're downloading all of it. So I'm placing that urgency on you to fix what's going on in your PMDD relationship, because you are shaping another life that is downloading everything that's going on in your home. And it's going to impact who they are as an adult and who they are in the world. So if you don't want to do the work for you, If you don't want to get the help for you because you feel like you can stay coasting in this spot where you're just, it's not where I want it to be as far as my PMDD relationship, but we're making it go day by day and there's no change. If you don't feel the urgency with that, then if you have a child in your home, you need to get the help for them. And I would tell that to my PMDD partner. Like if your PMDD partner says, I don't want to go through the counseling, I don't want to go through the coaching, I don't want to go through, working with Rose for whatever reason, like I'm just not there yet. Well, what about your child? What about the impact that you're having on them by just choosing not to? So what my services do is it really takes the excuse out of, there's no one that specifically deals with PMDD relationships. That's normally when I do my initial consults, that's normally the common statement that everyone says. There's no resources out there for PMDD relationships. Well, I am here telling you that I am a resource. So if you are actively choosing not to utilize my resources, then there's no other, what is your other excuse? Why are you risking your relationship with your partner and your relationship with your children and everything else? Because it's all connected. Anything that's going on in your heart with your partner impacts your relationship with your children, impacts how you feel with your work, impacts how you feel with your PMDD symptoms. All of it is connected. So if you're not using my resources, why are you risking that? And how long do you plan on not utilizing these services? And I want you to think about that, because we, as people with PMDD, we often get into this mindset because there's such limited resources that we get into this hopeless place of there's nothing else I can do but suffer, right? There's nothing else I can do but suffer. And if you're suffering in your PMDD relationship, it's because you're not using my services. It's because you're not seeking the help. It's because you're not investing in the help. And it's not sustainable, right? It's being that PMDD is every single month. If this was a once thing, like maybe, people have gotten COVID multiple times, but if this was a one-time thing, I'd be like, okay, you're risking it. But I don't know, but like this comes every month, this, it's not going anywhere. And if you're younger, and you're not near the perimenopausal or the menopausal age, this is going to be years and years and years of your life. And I would hate, a lot of my clients are so young, in their 20s, in their 30s, and even in their 40s. These are all young ages where you're supposed to be enjoying life, right? You need to preserve these years. You need to preserve these years and not think that your life is over, your relationship is over because you have PMDD. So the first thing that we talked about was setting clear boundaries of what you need and don't negotiate it. Don't budge. Don't sell yourself short because you have PMDD. You do deserve it. Okay. You're not asking for too much. And if you feel like you're walking on pins and needles, like your partner's not going to give you what it is that you need, that's a problem, because any relationship that you decide to be in is a commitment, and that commitment has responsibilities attached to it. So the next thing is, no is a full sentence. So many times when your PMDD partner may ask you to do things that that you're not up to, that you're in PMDD, you don't have it in you, but you say yes anyway, because you feel like it's part of my duties. I have to do it. If I don't do it, it's going to be a problem. You don't want to deal with the ramifications of not doing it. So you say yes, and then you end up doing it and regretting it and dealing with exasperated symptoms after it. Like it triggers all of your PMDD symptoms. You end up in this horrible place, and it all stemmed from saying yes when you really meant no. I am here to give you permission that when you are in PMDD, regardless of what your partner is asking you to do, if you know that it's not going to end well, like you just know yourself, you're like, you know what, if they're asking me to go to this event, if I go to this event, I know it's not going to be good. We're either going to argue, I'm going to shut down and take it until I can't take it anymore, or I'm just going to keep silent. And then a couple of days are going to go by. And because I held all of that in, because I risked my health by going to that event or going to do that thing that they really wanted me to do, then when they do the smallest thing, I'm going to be so on edge, so hyper aroused that I'm just going to snap at them because I've taken on too much. Taking on too much in your PMDD relationship will cause you to go off, off, and not even feel bad about it. You know why you don't feel bad about it? Because you've taken on too much and you feel like, you know what? I had enough. And your partner may have not even known that you're anywhere near having enough because you're not communicating it because you were trying to be a good PMDD partner. Don't do too much when you're in PMDD if you know that it's going to cause you to damage the relationship further by going off on them, by having bitter and resentment towards them. And no is a full sentence. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to say no because I'm in PMDD and because I have this symptoms and list out all of your symptoms and how you feel about the symptoms and why it's not going to be good for you, because just say no. I'm not available to do that right now. I would love to support you. And again, when I'm telling you to say no to your PMDD partner, I'm not saying say it with an attitude. I'm not saying go off on them. I'm not saying being evil. I'm just saying say no. So it's clear, right? Because if we say, I don't know, maybe, then you're leaving the door open and you're going to cause your PMDD partner to get confused. So I need you to be really clear with this. When you're saying no, you're saying no. Right? That's it. It's not a possibility that you may go to the event. It's not a possibility that you may do the thing that they want you to do. You're actually saying, I'm not able to do that. I love you. I care about you. But for where I am right now, I'm not able to do that. I'll let you know when I'm available for that. Right? And allow your PMDD partners to do the same thing with you. You being PMDD partners, you should be able to tell each other no sometimes because you know yourself best. Your PMDD partner knows themselves best. And it's not about the other person getting upset with you because they said no or you said no. You shouldn't be upset. You should be happy that they're honest with you. I want you to start being happy about honesty, whether you like the answer or not. Stop living behind this barrier of I'm pretending like I'm okay, but I'm really not okay. Because at the end of the day, neither one of you are going to be okay. And it's going to cause you to be disconnected because you're never truly knowing how the other person is feeling. Like you're thinking, have you ever done that with your PMDD partner where you're thinking that you're good because they said that you're good? And then really you find out later on during an argument that they're not good and you feel retarded for even thinking that. You're like, man, this whole time I thought we were good. And then in an argument, they blurt out all of these things. You did this and you did this. And what about the time that you did this? And I can't believe you did that. And you're like, whoa, I didn't know you had a problem with any of that because you never said it. Here's the thing. It always comes out. It is always going to come out. It's always going to come out. So it's better to just know yourself, be self-aware. When they give you a request, don't immediately answer. That's another thing with saying no. It's so easy that when your PMDD partner asks you to do something and you're in that state of in the thick of PMDD, you can immediately be like, okay, because you feel the guilt, you feel the obligation. You're like, okay, I have to say yes. Think about it. Even if you can't say no in the moment, take a moment and think about it. Say, let me check my schedule. Let me let you know. And then you come back and say, no, I'm not available to do that. How about we do something else? Pick something else that you can do. So I know when you're in PMDD, you feel like there's nothing you can do. Like at some point, you're just like, I got nothing. Like I'm barely crawling to work, crawling to school, crawling here, crawling there. I got nothing. Pick something minuscule, very small. I can do this, or schedule it out a week from when you have PMDD. I can't do this weekend. Like say if it's the middle of the week, and your partner's like, oh, there's this concert going on, or there's this thing that I want to do, and I think we would have so much fun. And you know that you would have fun if you were in your good days, right? If you were in your good days, yeah, you would have fun, but you know you're not going to be on your good days. So to say, oh, I can't during that time. How about we do this? And put forth the same effort that they put forth to find something and find something equally as enjoyable in a time that you're going to actually enjoy it. Because how many times have you gone to events and done the things that you would have normally enjoyed, but you didn't enjoy them? You did not enjoy them, not the least bit, because you're in PMDD. It's like, that's not a thing. And the last thing I'm going to tell you is take the time to get to know what you need during PMDD. This is something that I work with my private clients with because it's not the same for everyone. It's not like what makes you feel good is going to make, your someone else feel good. You need to be able to list out what it is that you know that you're going to need during PMDD from your partner, from your relationship. How do you need to feel? Do you need to feel safe? Do you have a lot of intrusive thoughts going on during your PMDD? And so you need your partner to constantly reassure you and know that it's okay. Don't feel shame about needing certain things from your PMDD partner. Do not feel shame in that. I don't want you to feel like, I shouldn't need that. I shouldn't need this much attention, or I shouldn't need this much space. It doesn't matter what you should or shouldn't need. The fact is you do, right? It's like you need what you need, you want what you want, and that's it. It's not a negotiation. I mean, you don't have to be ashamed about it. Just be real with yourself. And with being real with yourself, be real with your partner and be like, hey, I really need this during PMDD. And then ask them, because I feel like when you ask versus demand, you get a much better response. So if you say, I know during these particular days of my PMDD, I need a lot more validation from you. I know that you love me. I know that you care about me. I know that you want to be in this relationship, but I need you to show it to me a little bit more during this period of time. Is that something that you can do for me? Is that something that you can do? Because I really believe that it'll make me feel better and I really need you. When you tell your partner that you need them and you're depending on them to be there for you, it's way different from saying you need to do this and you need to do that because I said so, because I'm in PMDD. I need. Like, don't be demanding. Ask the question. Ask the question and wait for them to answer. All right, so let's get to this meditation. I really believe that it's going to help you to stop being so hard on yourself. But the first thing I want you to do, wherever you are, I'm going to say close your eyes. But if you're driving, please don't. If you don't want to close your eyes, you don't have to. It's just something to really get you grounded, get you in that peaceful state. This may be the only time that you're in this peaceful state for the day. So I want to make sure you get the most out of it. Okay, let's get started. All right. The first thing, I want you to take a deep breath. I release any need to judge my PMDD partner. I release the need to judge myself. I am free of the need to judge my PMDD partner for what they haven't done and what they haven't said right. I have my own life to occupy my attention, and I allow my PMDD partner to live a life free of my opinions. My PMDD partner is free to make their own choices within our relationship. I know that my PMDD partners has issues that they are dealing with, so I give them the benefit of the doubt instead of assuming the worst about them. Though it can be difficult, I also free myself from judgment while in PMDD. Take a moment, sink that in. Though it can be difficult, I am also freeing myself of judgment while in PMDD. I do not have to be the perfect PMDD partner. I am doing my best in my PMDD relationship, and that is enough. I realize that perfection in a PMDD relationship is a lie. All PMDD partners have their own struggles, and we are all trying our best. I always use my results as a stepping stone to move forward in my good months. I welcome less than perfect PMDD months with my partner because that is how I learn. Mistakes with my PMDD partner can be a great thing. I learn from my mistakes and encourage my PMDD partner to do the same. Judging myself during PMDD also creates challenges that make my PMDD symptoms worse. I am a good person despite my PMDD. I know that I am an amazing PMDD partner. I release any need to judge myself when I am in PMDD and when I'm not. I put myself into a more positive state by being free of self-judgment about my PMDD. Today, I am accepting my PMDD partner. I appreciate their flaws, and I also appreciate my own. I use my mistakes in my PMDD relationship as a learning tool and apply that learning to better my life with my PMDD partner. I release any need to judge my PMDD partner and myself. I hope that this episode has helped you and your PMDD partner. As always, if you need me, I'm here, and you can have the peaceful and supportive PMDD relationship that you desire and deserve. You got this. I hope these PMDD trauma transformational tools help you and your PMDD partner. I am so excited to announce that I am opening up 10 spots for my exclusive 2-month private PMDD relationship coaching called Breakup Proof Your PMDD Relationship. Within these 2 months, I will be working with you one-on-one to give you customized strategies to ensure that you and your PMDD partner stop the monthly breakups and stress so that you can finally have the supportive relationship that you desire and deserve. I am only opening up 10 spots, so go to my website, www.inlovewithpmdd.com, and grab your spot now. It's time to start actively working on your PMDD relationship. Remember, love is not just a feeling, it's an action. And I know your PMDD relationship is worth not only saving, but working on so you can finally be at peace in your relationship during PMDD. If you found this podcast helpful, please comment and leave me a 5-star review to help other PMDD partners find our show with these tools and support. This is how you can help support the show and other PMDD partners. For everything that as PMDD partners go through, we should not have to do it alone. Until next time, remember, we can have the relationship that we desire and deserve while having PMDD. We got this.